Welcome back to Beam City Sports.
How we doing, Beam City Sports?
We're back at it here live on 96.5 FM, KUBU Radio. I got my boys with me, Luke Mitchell, as always. Great to have you back, as always, on the live show.
New year, first live show of the new year. That's amazing. Feeling good to be back in here. A little weird. Nerves are kicking in a little bit, but I mean, in 5 minutes, we're going to be rolling. Just like the Beam is rolling.
Yes, sir. Beam is rolling. Of course, we got my boy, Devin Neel, with me. Best friend since kindergarten.
Yo.
New member of Beam City Sports.
Good.
Love to have you on, man.
Thank you. Loving to be here. I'm ready to start glazing some Kings. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
So what the heck is Beam? Why is the Beam rolling? What? No, the Beam is lit.
Beam is
It's
lit.
getting lit.
Beam is lit. But, if you're listening on YouTube, please go subscribe to us. We're on the come up. We're on the come up right now. Big moves over these last couple weeks, and it's only going to keep getting better.
Before we get started, I want to give a big congratulations to our host, Tyler Texeira, his very first Media Day member as a Kings Media Day member for iHeart Radio. Shout out iHeart Radio.
Shout out.
But yeah, first day, interviewed Domas, interviewed DeMar, interviewed Doug. The triple D right there, man. But it looked amazing. How did it feel to be in there?
Man, that was the best night of my life. Still feels like a dream, if I'm being completely honest. It doesn't feel real. I can't believe that happened. And, hopefully going to be going to a lot more games and just keep meeting more people. And it's a funny thing when I asked Domas that question, the first question, and it was on the post-game show and all that. I have no idea what he said when he answered me. I completely blacked out after I asked that question. If you see me in the video, you can see when I turned my head a little, I had the biggest smile ever on my face. But yeah, shout out to KFBK, iHeart Radio for giving me that opportunity. And, Beam City Sports is a huge part of why I even got that opportunity. So thank you, Luke, for, believing in me from day one.
Of course, yeah.
This is only the beginning.
Only the beginning.
Only the beginning, a lot on the come up. But we should jump into our beloved Sacramento Kings 5-game win streak. Can you believe it? 5-game.
I had to see it, and I see it, so I believe it.
I believe the Beam is back. Went from a 6-game losing streak, firing head coach Mike Brown, and now Doug Christie is leading this team. And we are 1 game under 500, boys. One game under 500.
1 game under 500.
Crazy.
That's a great New Year's gift right there.
Man, 2025 already off to an amazing start. A half game out of the 10 spot right now. Only a half a game. And out of the 7 spot, we are only 1.5 games, or 2.5 games, out of the 1 spot. It's
looking good.
A lot of season left. A lot can happen. I would not be surprised if we can, continue this hot streak and get, above that 7 seed, get out of the play-in. That's my goal.
I think that was my New Year's resolution for the Kings.
Before the All-Star break, you said?
Yeah, before All-Star break.
Or at All-Star break?
Yeah. But, when that 6-game losing streak was happening, I was panicking. I was saying,
for sure,
make some trades, get a new team out there. And one comment we had on one of our videos was from my old teammate back in high school, Davion. He's the only one that backed the Kings up in this. And he said, we need to not panic yet until the All-Star break. There's a lot of season left.
I don't know why you're acting. I was saying that.
You were
too.
saying that? Okay.
I was on the ship the whole time.
I mean, we've been pushing to trade Huerter and Trey Lyles. Yeah. And now I'm not for that.
I was on board to do that whole trade thing, but I wasn't panicking.
Okay.
I knew that there was some time.
Yeah.
It was a long season.
Such a long season.
People get hurt. People get tired. People go on streaks. It's a game of streaks. So, I mean, right now we're on a hot one.
You know what Devin's favorite phrase is? Basketball's a game of runs.
Game of runs, baby.
Game of runs.
And we're on a good one right now.
An amazing run right now. And that is a great way to look at how this Kings team plays.
Yeah.
It's just a game of runs every game. Last game, we'll jump into it right now. Against the Miami Heat, the night of my life, we were down 17 points in the fourth quarter. 17 points in the fourth.
It did not look good.
Did you guys lose hope in that fourth quarter? Down 17?
Honestly, no.
No?
No, I did not. So I was watching the game at home with my family.
Yeah.
And it was the first time in a long time where it was the full family watching a game together.
That's awesome.
So we were all into it, all getting hyped. Mm-hmm. I was stressing out. I like the whole time I was stressing out. It felt like we were in the game the whole time.
Yeah.
We would come back a little bit and then lose it, come back a little bit. So I didn't give up. I don't want to give up. So it was good. It felt good.
Yeah, it felt good. Dev, did you lose hope in that fourth, down 17? It was hard not to, but,
Yeah, it was hard not to, but I will say I've seen some pretty crazy in-person Kings comebacks in my life, so I wasn't going to put it out of the question. And with how much time they had left, what do they say nowadays? 20-point lead's nothing in the NBA in today's NBA. So, I mean, it was hard not to, but I was sticking out a little bit of it, and I'm glad to see Keon was coming in clutch.
Man,
yep.
I was planning to say this on the show, and, I'm happy our guy James isn't on the show with us today because he would give me a lot of pushback on this, being kind of a – so I'm going to say it. Keon Ellis is my favorite player in the NBA right now. Keon Ellis is my number one favorite player in the entire NBA right now.
I'm not going to hate on that because he's slowly becoming my happy birthday to Keon.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Milo, as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Milo.
Yeah. Our guy, thumbnail. Logo producer.
Our artist.
Yes, our main artist. But, yeah, Keon Ellis has, taken my heart as a Kings fan.
Sure.
And I think every Kings fan in the world loves Keon. He played almost 50 minutes last game.
Everybody.
50 minutes.
I think Domas played like 52 minutes.
Yeah,
Domas
played over 50. But yeah, Steph Curry, that's why I said James would give me some pushback on that.
Because Curry stopper.
Yeah, I'm I've loved Curry my whole life, and this year the Warriors are struggling. Still love Steph. De'Aaron obviously has been one of my favorite players since he's been in the league. But Keon has officially taken over as my favorite player in the entire NBA.
I love to hear that.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and his defense, man, is just it's a sight to see.
It's everything. He's almost the perfect basketball player.
He really is.
He's really almost the perfect.
Really is.
And who knows, he might become the perfect basketball player with years to come. He's young. How old is he? Like 20?
Probably 24.
24 now?
Yeah.
Or he probably just turned 25, I think.
We can look it up, yeah.
But no, he's a gem. We picked undrafted. He came out of Alabama. And the fact that we got him for so cheap.
Yeah.
And for how many more years? It's going to be nice.
A two-way player, made that contract, a real contract last year. And he has taken off ever since. That was the biggest pushback on Mike Brown was not playing Keon Ellis.
Yep.
And I just don't understand why. And I bet looking back on it, Mike Brown really regrets not playing him because if he could have helped this team turn it around if he just believed in Keon Ellis like he should have.
Yeah. No, yeah. I remember one interview where he said the minutes aren't there.
That just makes no sense.
That makes no sense.
I was so mad at that.
With how little defense we have.
Yeah.
I will say our defense has really stepped up. Everybody on the team the last 5 games.
Crazy, the turnaround.
DeMar, who knew that DeMar was going to be one of the most clutch players that we have on D right now?
He's buying in on the defensive end, and that's just a testament to Doug Christie and what he's saying to this team behind the scenes, and Keon Ellis, leading the way on the defensive end. He guards the best guy. He started the last couple games with, De'Aaron being out, Keegan being out before that. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that starting lineup once De'Aaron comes back because I think Keon he needs to be in there.
Yeah. Keon needs to be in there. Malik should probably just come off the bench.
I agree. That's what I think. Devin,
you know what I'm going to say?
What do you think?
I mean, I can't really say it after those last couple of games he just put together, but I've been pushing for DeMar 6-man, but, he kind of turned it around the last couple of games.
Way.
I mean, he's been playing big minutes, so but it's really hard to – I mean, it was Mike Brown that switched it to Malik.
I thought Mike Brown was fired.
He was fired for I think he asked DeMar.
Dude, I still hear Mike Brown somewhere in Sacramento.
We're not here to disrespect Mike Brown or anything. That was definitely the one gripe that everybody had was just not playing Keon Ellis. Nobody knew why, but I think Doug sees a lot of himself as a player in Keon Ellis, so he's going to let him make his mistakes, and he's going to love on him, and he's going to push him to do the right things, and if you make the mistake, keep playing. He's not going to take him out and sit him at the end of the bench for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
That's a huge part. He doesn't get on players when they make mistakes.
Yeah.
I think Keon made a mistake, and in the Mike Brown era, it was really Keon had a short leash for no reason,
sure. Yeah.
And Doug Christie's over there hugging Keon on the sideline, telling him, hey, just do this next time, and you're going to be great. We believe in you, and that's all Keon needed was to be believed in, and Doug Christie is doing that right now.
I think that's also going to work for a guy like Keegan.
Yeah,
I think that is going to restore a lot of his confidence that was probably lost. And I mean, everybody has their own style of coaching, but everybody doesn't respond to just one style of everybody responds to something different. So I mean, I think that's going to help Keegan out a lot. you kind of already seeing it. Like the first couple threes he took looked so much different, and maybe it was getting off the ankle, but the first couple threes in his first couple in the Heat game especially, like I think he went 2 for 3 to start the game, something like that.
That was big.
It looks even better, and I think that helps a guy like him, and it should help everybody.
It should, yeah.
Yeah, no, I can the confidence that he's like you said, I think he lost some confidence at the beginning of the year, especially with Kevin Huerter too. But the past 3 games, both of them have been pretty consistent with the three ball.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what we've been missing this whole time.
Yeah,
I mean, we've all said it. If we make our threes, we're going to win these games.
You've been saying that all year. You really have.
We've been down by 5.
Yeah,
like coming down in these clutch games, and if we had hit 4 more threes earlier in the game, we game's over.
Yeah,
game's over.
Yeah, I agree. We got to go back though. We're not going to just move past. Before the Mike Brown firing, the day before, we had a podcast, and you said on the podcast, and it came out of left field for me. I did not expect it. Never crossed my mind because of his career.
I'm scared now.
Is bring DeMar off the bench. And, and it's crazy that the report came out that Mike Brown asked DeMar to come off the bench, and that was a part of his firing. So that's crazy that. That's crazy that right before you said that, Mike Brown was thinking the same thing.
I mean, he was just searching like me. And you can't really blame him. But
I can't,
I feel like also a part of it, and I don't want to speak for Mike Brown, but, all the Colby minutes and the
Colby Jones minutes was insane.
Yeah, insane.
That's just, maybe he was doing that, not to speak for him, but to kind of show the front office that, if you're not going to do anything about the roster, like, I'm going to go play these guys you gave me. But, I mean, was kind of, I don't want to say that because that's a risky thing to do when you're kind of really on the hot seat. You're on the hot seat. So, but I mean,
he's still getting paid.
Still getting paid.
Shout out to Mike. I will not sit here and hate Mike.
Like, I'm not hating on him.
I think his contract is $10 million over 3 years.
Over 3 years.
He's living good. He's still living good. De'Aaron said it after he got fired. De'Aaron said, "I don't feel bad for him. He's still making $10 million over 3 years."
Right.
So yeah. But okay, so Keon had 17 points, 8 rebounds, and was the catalyst of bringing this team back in that Miami game. The defensive energy has really just changed his whole team around. And another guy, Trey Lyles. I think Trey Lyles has been huge since Doug Christie became head coach.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. I love him on the board.
Yeah.
His rebounding has been unmatched. And then he gets the ball up quick, too. He goes up, grabs the ball, and then finds an outlet pass. Try to get it up on the court.
That's Doug Christie's game plan, is play fast.
Yeah.
With Mike Brown, we were running all these sets and all these different plays, slowing the game down. 2 years ago, when we had the best offense of all time,
we were just running up and down the court.
And if you have a guy like De'Aaron Fox, why would you not want to play as fast as you possibly can? And Doug Christie, his coaching mentality is really taking a step back and not trying to do too much, just letting these guys play and letting them play freely. And, the only plays Doug really calls is, hey, get De'Aaron or Monk on this side and Domas go set him a screen. Like, it's really freelancing out there, and that's really propelled this team to a different level.
Honestly, besides that Laker game, you could probably say it's watching it's really looked like a pickup basketball game on offense at times, and it's kind of disorganized and there's a lot of chaos. But I think it's good chaos most of the time, and that's how they want to play. And I think they should continue to do that. And once they get used to playing like that, we'll probably see less of those mistakes.
I was stressed. There were like 3 different times against the Heat where they were just running around shooting the ball, and then somehow we ended up with the ball down below, and I'm like, just pass the ball outside. Stop. What are we doing?
And they've been saying you got to live with the way Malik plays. I just think everybody's going to play offense like that. You got to live with the mistakes that are made, but more good is going to come than bad out of playing like that, I feel like.
I completely agree with
I also got to bring up Malik's hot mic moments.
Dude.
Love them.
Boom. There were a few more where I was just like, NBA does not want that on
No,
TV.
I think they do, And Katie Christensen, shout out to her, sat next to her in the post-game press conference. She always shouts that out, Malik's hot mic moments, and how she wants a whole video of just him mic'd up all game.
Dude, we got to throw that compilation.
Give him his foul calls.
We got to find that.
You want him to stop, give him his fouls.
Exactly, yeah. A guy in the Warrior game, a big moment, Kings were up a lot already, but Malik, the hot mic moments when, Malik drives, kicked it out to Kev for a 3, and you could just hear him. He says, "Shoot that, Kev." And then when Kev hits it, he's like, boom, like you said. And that's just, when you're bringing that energy to a team, like, it just makes everything so much more fun, and everyone feels like, less on edge. Like, it's just more relaxed, and, like, everyone's just having fun out there. And it's just, am I in a dream like right now?
The
am I in a
vibes
dream?
definitely
the
feel
vibes are
being
different.
team season like, and like they're building towards something like that. And I would be super glad if something like that ends up happening. And they're looking tough to stop right now. We'll see on Friday against the Celtics.
That's going to be the big test.
It's going to be a matchup.
Yeah.
I'm happy we get this like 3-day rest, 4-day rest.
How many? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Yeah, 3-day rest.
I think they're going to Boston tonight.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You got their flight schedule?
No, I heard it on the radio earlier today. I was doing homework.
He's stalking them. He's just like tracking their flight.
Yeah.
Like, are you guys okay?
Yeah. You probably have a Keon Ellis location on your phone.
Text me when you land.
But okay, we got to mention our guy, our young rookie, Devin Carter. He's bringing a lot to this team, even without the scoring, and I love him so much already, man.
Immediately when he steps out on the court, his defense is there. He forced a turnover like within 30 seconds. He was on the court, I think.
He clamps up.
Yeah.
He locks the hell up.
He's a big dude, too.
Yeah.
Like,
he's only like 6'2", 6'3", but his wingspan is 6'9".
And he's
jacked.
He's just jacked.
He's jacked.
Like, dude is
yeah. And you could tell with his rebounding, like he doesn't care. He's going in there, and he's going to be the one up there and grabbing it. And I think he was fighting with Domas for a couple the other game.
But he got 8 rebounds, I think,
the other night.
He was getting up there for those.
He had some buckets, too, in that Warrior game. He had 13.7 rebounds.
His high-arcing three is pretty nuts.
Yeah.
It kind of scares me.
Same.
But,
for sure.
I mean, it's going in.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's gone in a couple times. Every time Devin has shot the ball, I don't have confidence that it's going in. He looks a little, especially in the first game against Memphis, he was really forcing the shots. And, I mean, everyone understands that. It was his first game. His dad was, coaching on the other team's sideline. So he really wanted to get a bucket in that one. But, when you're pressing for buckets like that, the shots just won't fall. So I think once he, sees some more threes go in, gets more comfortable, because we all know he can shoot the ball.
Yeah.
He had 29 points in his G League debut off he had no stamina in that game.
Yeah.
He was gassed. And he had 29. So obviously the shots are gonna fall eventually.
He's gonna go off for us.
Yeah, he
at
is.
some point.
Yeah, Derek White type.
I see him potentially starting at the end of the year, depending on how he fits in with the lineup.
It's gonna be tough.
It's gonna be crazy. Once Fox comes back,
we're
gonna have to figure that out first.
Yeah.
But
I can just see. I can see Christie doing a 3-guard lineup at one point. He did it before. If someone's hurt, I feel like he can get it out there.
I mean, I'm not completely against that, because Devin Carter, like I said, the wingspan, he can guard multiple positions.
His defense is.
He can guard some small forwards. He can guard 1 through 3 pretty much, and he's strong. Like
he's
you guys said,
a bulkier Keon. I feel like
he is. Yeah, but and I also like how he's been aggressive on the offensive end. Last game, he got to the free throw line a couple times, which is huge for this team. No one really expects that out of a young rookie getting to the line like that, doing vet moves like pump faking and leaning in like that. Like that was big. And every point mattered in this game, obviously. So every point we got out of him, he had 5 points, 4 rebounds in limited minutes. So shout out to my boy Dev, Shout out Dev. It's hype here in Sacramento. What do you guys think of Tyler Hero last game, though? He had 26 points.
I knew he was going to do
off.
it.
Yeah.
Like, everybody who can shoot a 3 shoots a 3 hot in Sacramento.
He hit some crazy shots, too.
Like, that one when they cut it back into single digits and he hit at the end of the shot clock.
That was big.
Yeah, I thought the game was over.
I thought it was over. I was in my media booths. I was like, oh, my God, that hurt.
All right, your media booth. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Quick plug.
Quick plug. But yeah, so we got a tough stretch coming up on the road. Boston on Friday, going to be a fun test. And what I love about this team is that, even if say we lose game against Boston, I still know we're going to come and fight and we're going to play hard with Mike Brown.
Pause.
Okay, pause. Big pause. But with Mike Brown as the coach, you couldn't tell. Some nights they would come to play. Some nights they would, take the night off and not play hard. But with Doug being the head coach, they're going to play hard every night. And that's all he wants out of him. So shout out to Doug. Okay, well.
I'm sorry.
We can move on to some more Kings. So I already asked you guys, but De'Aaron Fox coming back, hopefully on Friday. Does Malik go to the bench?
Yes.
He's been playing so well, though. He had 23 points last game, and it's going to be a tough decision for Doug.
I think he still scores 23 points off the bench.
I agree.
I still think he gets the same amount of minutes, but I think he's going to come off the bench.
Yeah.
As long as you're in for the big minutes, right?
Yeah.
But, it's just going to be tough to go up to a guy like Malik, how he's playing right now, and look him in the face and be like, we're going to need you to.
That's what I was thinking, too. That's what I was thinking. And Malik is the type of guy who's going to be happy to do anything for this team. He's done it already. But I don't know how we're going to find as many minutes for Keon as he deserves with De'Aaron coming back. I know Doug is going to play him because he loves him, but, who loses minutes? DeMar had 30 last game. Keegan looks like he's coming back a little bit, had 14 and 12. Mm-hmm. Got to play Domas as many minutes as you can. Got to play De'Aaron as many minutes as you can. Who loses some minutes?
Keon.
Yeah.
I think that's where the front office has to come into play, right?
Yeah.
Like,
it's tough.
They got to balance this roster out a little bit. I know especially with Huerter playing like he is, how Trey's playing like he is, we don't really want to trade any of those pieces that are like probably going to need to thrown in there to get something done. But it's just an unbalanced roster right now. So there's not a lot of guys. I think Doug might favor Keon over Devin Carter a little bit more. I think Carter might lose a little bit more. I think Huerter might lose. Huerter's going to be the biggest one to lose minutes. I
agree with that completely.
Huerter's definitely going to lose minutes.
And, you can't make a trade right now. The Kings released Orlando Robinson yesterday. I was big on him after the offseason signing, but, he's a young guy. He didn't know how much he could contribute. But, that means Trey Lyles is really locked in for that backup big position. When Domas is out, we need Trey Lyles running that 5.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
To have Trey Lyles out the 5.
No, I don't think it is in today's NBA. He's
I don't know.
Like you mentioned earlier, he's a great rebounder. And he's been playing bigger than usual.
But then when we go play Boston, we're gonna have him against Kristaps.
I'm fine with that. Kristaps he wants to stand on that 3-point line and shoot. And
that is true.
That's going to be the big test against Boston because they get up a record amount of 3-pointers per game.
And we suck at guarding that line.
We did. Dude,
I'm not gonna say we're amazing yet because Memphis was lining us up as well.
That is true.
Like we won that game, but that game was 138 to
133. Right here. Man, Jalen Wells in that game.
I have it right in front of me. I don't know.
Jalen Wells had 30 points, hit 8 for 9 from 3. So played against him in high school.
Shout out Sacramento. Future Sacramento legend.
You could tell coming into the game he
wanted to play different.
Yeah, he had over 125 people in the stands with his coming for him to see him play. So that was really cool. I was outside the arena before that game, talking to some fans and stuff, and I saw a group of like 8 dudes all wearing a Jalen Wells jersey. Pause. And so I go up to him and I'm like, hey, do you guys know Jalen Wells? And they were really like kind of rude to me for no reason. They're like our age. They were like they thought they were all that, and I don't know.
Dude,
they were rude.
That's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't care. Whatever. I was still cool to him, and I was like, hey, do you guys know Jalen Wells? And they were like, yeah, we know him. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like I played against him in high school and all this stuff. And I told them about our show, and they were like, no, man, we're good. But whatever, screw them.
A-holes.
But they were all wearing their jersey, and they went to school with him. So he had all his homies in the building. So that's what I was trying to get across with that was. Jalen Wells is a good dude.
Jalen Wells is it's pretty awesome to see someone like every time I see some famous person from Sacramento like doing good, I'm like, damn, shout out hometown.
Yeah.
Like the beat.
Yeah. Well, before we go in our break in 3 minutes, the Kings versus the Warriors. Kings won by 30. 30 points.
How did that feel, Tyler?
I felt amazing.
I know you're not like I know you're not like a big Warriors fan like anymore.
Yeah.
But I know you're still a Warriors fan.
I mean, I'm the same as I've always been. I love the Kings number one in my heart for forever. Yeah. Steph Curry is just my idol and, someone I've looked up to. But, something from this game, Steph Curry had 26 points. He hit some 2 4-point plays.
That was so annoying.
But I think the Kings did a really good job on him in the especially trapping that pick and roll. They did the same thing with Tyler Hero. Yeah. So just get the ball out of his hands, make someone else make a play.
Devin Carter had his little welcome to the NBA moment.
Yeah, he did.
Curry did him pretty good.
He did. That's going to happen. If you're not playing hard defense, you're not, you're going to have moments like that. You're playing hard defense. Yeah. But back-to-back games for Steph Curry with 0 assists. He had 0 assists against the Kings. Warriors played last night against Miami. Lost that, and he had 0 assists again.
I don't think that's necessarily his fault.
It's not his fault.
He's making the passes, but his teammates aren't helping him out.
It's everyone else's fault.
Making the shots.
Yeah, Dennis Schroeder has been absolutely horrible for
ever since they traded him. Yeah, I don't know. Does Curry have the same effect?
Schroeder just doesn't fit in. That's funny. Schroeder just doesn't fit in with this team at all because he needs the ball in his hand, and he's he's not comfortable. They're relying on him for catch and shoot threes, and against the Kings, he went 1 for 7. So
yeah,
Dennis Schroeder is not bringing anything to the Warriors right now.
Not at all.
Yeah.
He's one of those players who kind of needs to thrive, not on his own team, but a team without a superstar, I feel like.
That's exactly what it is. On Brooklyn, he was so good because he was the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, lately when I'm watching the rest of the NBA, we all have to be on board with this. We have to root against every team that's in the West right now. You know, every team, especially above us.
Definitely.
So we're half game back of the Warriors and the Spurs of the 9 and 10, only half game. So, before Friday, we could see if those teams start losing, we could, make our way up slowly but surely. And then, Minnesota's right there. They're really up and down now.
They're up and down. Yeah, they don't really have an identity to, get a good win streak going.
They have no identity. Anthony Edwards, after their loss a couple nights ago, he said in the postgame, I don't want to have to pass the ball. Yeah. That's literally what he said, word for word, that he doesn't want to pass the ball. That's a crazy statement from Anthony Edwards.
I feel like Anthony might be head of Minnesota at some point.
And that trade.
Not soon, but at some point.
At some point in his career, I could see that too. They don't really have anyone else besides him now. They let go of Cat. That was a horrible move. Yeah. Horrible move.
They got the Frenchman, but
he's nothing on the offensive end. Now. Yeah. But Domas, before we go into our break, dominated Bam Adebayo last night. I wanted to bring that up. And that's always been a conversation. Who's better, Bam or Sabonis?
One of the better defenders in the league, and he definitely dominated him. It was Adebayo's kind of been struggling all year.
He has.
It's not surprised to me.
Yeah, that conversation is closed.
Vote your all-stars.
Yes, good call.
Vote.
Good call.
Go vote.
All
do
Kings.
your civil duty and vote.
Yeah. All right. Well, have you guys been voting?
Yeah, every day.
Yeah, nice.
Every day. I wake up and I do my civil duty like you should.
Damn, respect. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll be back in a couple minutes on Beam City Sports. Tyler Texeira, Luke Mitchell, Devin Neel.
Cheers.
All right, we are back on Beam City Sports. This is 96.5 FM. Tyler Texeira, Luke Mitchell, and Devin Neel.
Yo.
Coming to you in Sacramento, California. How we feeling?
Doing, Sacramento?
Yeah.
It's been a good last 5 games here,
man,
for Sacramento. 5 in a row.
5 in a row.
3 with De'Aaron, 2 without De'Aaron.
Man,
this team is back. This team is back.
We are back, and
Mitchell's Man of the Week is back.
Mitchell's Man of the Week is back.
Another hot one.
Yep.
Got to go to Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay.
Shout out Jaren Jackson Jr.
Okay.
Averaging 28.5 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists.
I like it. But I'm mad at him.
Yeah, that was the only reason.
Oh yeah. Honestly, I forgot about.
That's funny that you picked him.
Yeah, damn, I forgot about that. Yeah, I'm mad at him.
He's playing great. He's playing great though.
In a way, there's some silver lining to it.
Yeah.
He brought the rest of the team up because now the rest of the team is playing hot without De'Aaron. Yeah. And when De'Aaron comes back, they're gonna be hot.
I like it.
So
I like it.
But let me.
Yeah, keep
Mitchell's
going.
Man of the Week. Come on.
Sorry.
It's not Tyler's Man of the Week. It's Mitchell's Man of the Week. But yeah, he's doing what he needs to do right now for Ja Morant being off. Who knows how much? I heard he's going to come back soon.
Okay.
With his shoulder injury, but he's doing what he needs to do without Ja Morant. And where was it at? Damn. Unfortunately, they have been struggling though. Just the last 5 games, they've lost 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
But they need to trade someone to get him back up for sure.
I agree with that. Yeah. The Grizzlies should go make a trade. They have the pieces to do it. Interesting though. A guy that they were linked to was Jimmy Butler, and they were the favorites a couple days ago to get Jimmy Butler. He requested a trade out of Miami,
and then his agent said, "Don't trade for don't
trade me to Memphis." But how does that make any sense? Jimmy Butler said about a week ago, Bobby Shmurda, he said a week ago that he would be, now that he's requesting a trade, fully, he would be willing to go to any of the 29 other teams in the entire NBA. And then it goes out that Memphis is pursuing him, and then his agent comes out and says, "No, never mind. Don't trade me to Memphis."
Don't do it.
How does that make any sense? Memphis would be the perfect fit for him.
I wonder what's wrong with Jimmy. Why does nobody want Jimmy? I mean, I know his contract's big.
Yeah.
I know, but he's a good NBA player.
He is. I don't know. In the playoffs, he's at a different level. He always goes to a different level.
If he doesn't get traded, do you think he's going to get bought out?
No way. They can't buy out $48 million.
Yeah, they can.
I mean,
Pat Riley is very rich. He could definitely do that.
And Pat Riley is like the most stubborn, owner in the NBA history. So he's going to get him off that team one way or another.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with Jimmy.
I don't know. But yeah, Jaren Jackson Jr., man of the week. He's staying hot.
I like it.
Almost averaging 30 points a game.
It's crazy.
Like, I don't think a lot of people are doing that besides Giannis and Jokic right now. Right?
Yeah.
But are they even doing that?
I think there's one. I saw the leaderboard the other day. I think there's one person averaging 30. I think it's Giannis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, who would have expected Jaren Jackson Jr. to be averaging almost 30 points?
Yeah. He was the same draft as Marvin Bagley.
Damn.
It's crazy. He was the pick right after Luka.
There were a lot of people in that draft that weren't Marvin Bagley.
Yeah. Honestly, remembering back on that draft, we needed a big man, and so I was looking back at it. Obviously, another horrible take by me. I said, "Don't get Luka. Don't get Luka." I mean, who knows what he would have done in Sacramento, but it's Luka.
So. That video of the kid, he's like,
yeah.
I didn't want Luka.
Yeah.
I didn't want Luka.
That's like the funniest video ever. But it was between Marvin Bagley and Jaren Jackson. And, looking back on it, if the Kings got Jaren Jackson, that would have been a great fit on this team. But yeah, I love where we're at now, though. Not saying I wish anything was different.
Was that Vlade's last pick?
Maybe, yeah.
Yes.
Vlade made some iconic picks.
Yeah. I mean, shout out
not
him
in a good way.
Not in a good way.
Not in a good way.
Yeah.
Everything else besides De'Aaron.
Yeah, De'Aaron was.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about Vlade? He was at the last game. He was courtside with his bobblehead. And, he got some boos in the crowd.
Nah,
he's a Sacramento legend.
I know,
those aren't real Sacramento fans
exactly.
who are booing him.
Yeah.
Obviously, not a great GM.
Not a great GM.
He was one of the best players in Sacramento history.
For sure. Yeah.
So I'm not going to ever boo Vlade Divac.
Yeah, and he still loves Sacramento. He supports the Kings more than anything. He wanted the team to be good when he was the GM. It's just a hard thing to do.
Shows that the Kings actually have bandwagon fans now.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
Like that video of that kid with the Warriors game.
That was hilarious.
That was pretty funny.
That kid is definitely a Kings fan at heart.
Yeah.
But
Curry.
He just loves the Warriors because he loves the hype.
Dude, that's literally like me as a kid.
Grew up in the wrong time of the NBA, man.
That was literally like me as a kid. It was when the Kings and Warriors played, it would be a tough time for me because I love Steph more than life itself. And, the Kings are my diehard team since day one. So, get Steph and Sac. No, I'm just kidding. That would be
San Francisco.
That would be insane, dude.
That would be insane. Okay, well, we're moving on to Ty's take of the week. Staying in Sac, this whole episode is Sacramento Kings, based as it should be, as it always will be from now on out.
Yep.
Doug Christie is my favorite coach that the Kings have ever had already. That's my take of the week, is that he is my favorite coach that the Kings have ever had in the history.
There's not a whole lot. There's not a good selection for our
really
lifetime.
Really not.
There's a big selection, but there's not a good selection.
It really is a lot of guys to choose from.
Yeah. 8 or 9. How many? Like
in the last 10 years.
In the last 10 years.
8 or 9. Yeah.
I think we tried to name them earlier this year.
Ooh. You want to try again?
You want to try and name them all?
Mike Brown, Luke Walton, Dave Yeager.
George Carl.
That was my least favorite. Mike Malone. He was the best one besides Doug.
Do interims count?
Yeah. Alvin Gentry.
Yep.
Tyrone Corbin.
Yep.
That's 7.
Rick Adelman. Are we counting all the way back to Rick Adelman?
We can do that.
Yeah.
Oh, do you guys think Doug might ask Rick Adelman for some stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a good resource.
Yeah.
He coached him. I don't know why he wouldn't coach him still.
Yeah. I think Doug is a guy that's, he doesn't have an ego and he's willing to ask people around him.
I got to bring up his little interaction with Kerr.
Please.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
I love that. Oh, yeah. Doug Christie would beat his
he would. We saw what he did to Rick Fox back in the day.
Yes, sir.
They played that before every Kings game.
No, Rick Fox.
The fact that Kerr was calling that a flop.
God.
Yeah.
I lost a lot of respect for him on
Kerr
that.
has been going down and down and down as a favorite coach. He's been a great coach for the Warriors for the past decade.
Mm-hmm.
But he's lost a lot of respect from the whole NBA.
He's got to stop defending Draymond, man.
Yeah.
I think that's what's kind of getting him pushed more towards the negative light is everything bad Draymond's done in the last few years. He's probably the first one to defend him, and I just think it looks bad because it's like there's a player on the ground. Obviously, it was a hard screen, whether it was a flop or not. The guy's still on the ground, and you're yelling at the refs.
That was an illegal screen.
That was
it for sure was.
It wasn't even close. No. Like Keon was just playing defense.
Got whiplash.
He got I can't believe they were arguing that. Like, shout out to Steve, interviewed his son, so that's my boy right there. But like you said, he's lost a lot of respect around the NBA, especially with the Team USA. Everyone hated how he was running that team.
Yep.
And, this Warriors team is downhill, so he's not looking too hot right now in the eyes of the NBA. So
I see him not being the coach in the future.
I think he'll stay until Steph retires.
At least until Steph
That's
retires.
probably what will happen. Yeah. Like, you can't go out like that.
Daddy's son ball right there.
That's how it works. But yeah, so the Warriors.
Sorry, we got distracted.
No, we're still on Doug. We're still on Doug.
Yeah.
Take of the week, favorite coach. But that you brought it up. I'm so happy you brought that up because I would have forgot. But Doug, that's one of my favorite parts of him being the coach so far is how he backs up his players and how even that Jaren Jackson thing. He was talking smack to Jaren Jackson, and Domas had to go and carry him back to the bench.
He was like, yo, dude.
Yeah. I loved how he went. He was the first one over to Fox on the ground, and Malik was over there, I think Domas and DeMar, and they weren't even saying anything. And as soon as Jaren Jackson said something to Doug Christie, all three of them turned around and just started talking right back to Jaren Jackson. That was my favorite part of that.
Yeah, I think Doug still in his mind, like, when the game's going on.
He's a player.
Yeah, he still has that, like, player.
He still
thinks
up.
He's a player.
He's going to suit up one night. They should make it like how MLB used to do it when coaches used to play.
Oh, yeah.
Because, coaches wear the uniform because they used to play.
Yeah.
Let's get Doug on the court.
That'd be sick, yeah. But, another thing Doug is doing in the before the game, have you guys noticed?
Smelling salts?
Yeah, the smelling salts.
Who?
Doug Christie's doing smelling salts on the bench before the game starts.
I have not seen
You haven't seen that?
I have not seen that.
You got to check that out. It's crazy.
What the...
And,
dude, it's locking in, man.
And he's not getting any sleep. So... But he's sacrificing the sleep for wins like that. Double OT win.
Yeah, I was going to say, he in one of the questions you asked him, he talked about how he's going to fight for his guys. He's going to defend them and do anything for them.
I love that guy so much, man. Shout out to Doug.
Shout out, Doug.
All right, well, we should move on.
I know you're listening right now, Doug.
Our boy. All right, well, moving on to ICU this week.
Yes, sir.
Been a lot of Kings talk, so I wouldn't be surprised if you have a Kings player, but we'll see.
I was going to pick a Kings player, but I was just like, the whole show is pretty much going to be the other Kings this week. So
got to switch it up a little.
I actually wanted to show some love to the whole Detroit Pistons.
Oh, I love it.
But then I also broke it down into just Cade Cunningham too.
Of course.
But they are 8-2 in the last 10.
Damn.
4-1 in the last 5. Cade Cunningham is playing out of his mind right now.
For sure.
All-star level for sure.
For sure.
Detroit, I feel like, is turning around for sure right now. They're playing real team basketball.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Jaden Ivey out with a broken fibula. That's was sad. A real injury. But I think they're 500 right now, 18-18.
Who would have thought?
And them and Orlando. Both these teams that we always thought were going to be our whole life were kind of down in the dumps.
For sure, yeah.
Not the whole life. I mean, Dwight Howard was there, but...
That was before my time a little, honestly. I wasn't tuned in back then, but Orlando's so fun. So is Detroit.
Cade Cunningham, 25 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists. Dude is going off.
Baller.
Going off.
He's different. He's built different. We saw Detroit. We were all at that game.
Yeah.
Mike Brown's last game.
I was also going to bring that up.
Yeah.
No, that was tough.
Man, it is sad to see Jaden Ivey going out like that, though, especially after that 4-point play. I think it was the next game that they played. So, he was feeling good. After you hit a shot like that to win the game, you got to be on a high.
I think that was also his second buzzer beater of the year, too.
Yeah.
I think he hit one before.
He's got that clutch gene. So, I love that pick. I love the Pistons team. And the vibes are just high in Detroit right now, which we have not seen since Chauncey Billups, honestly. Yeah. So, I love Detroit. Okay, well, my pick for ICU is a guy from OKC coming off the bench. OKC is I'm going to say it's the best team in the NBA right now. Them and Cleveland are the top two.
Big matchup tonight. They're playing tonight at 4, or actually in
Cleveland and OKC?
In 2 hours.
Yeah. They're playing tonight.
They're playing in 2 hours.
Oh, I think they both have huge win streaks, too. So that's... OKC is 15.
15 and 10, I think.
Well, no, it's 15-0 against teams in the East, and then the Cavs are 11-0 against teams in the West.
Whoa. Okay, that's going to be a fun game to watch. Yeah. Wow. But my pick is Aaron Wiggins from Oklahoma City Thunder. They played Boston the other night, and they also played the Knicks the other night. Those games both felt like finals matchups.
Yeah, for sure.
And that really gave me, I've always respected OKC, but I've always kind of been on the hate train with them just because I'm a little jealous as a Kings fan.
You don't like Shea.
I don't love Shea, but he's the MVP right now, in my opinion. I think
Probably.
There's a little voters fatigue with Jokic. He has the stats.
In voting right now.
I think he's second now. I think he's moving up by the day.
Damn.
But Shea is on a different level, and he's not a foul baiter anymore. I think he's just, he gets calls, but he's so skilled. And,
well, they kind of adjusted the rules to not be able to foul like that.
But he's still just insanely good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Aaron Wiggins off the bench, especially in that New York Knicks game in the fourth quarter. OKC was down. They were down over 10. Aaron Wiggins went on like a 12-0 run by himself and brought them back, and OKC took the lead after that. And, people in OKC, it's a joke around on social media that Aaron Wiggins saved basketball. So got to give him some love. Aaron Wiggins saved basketball. So I love Aaron Wiggins' game. He's such a solid player. I really hope they don't trade him if they try and go get another guy. He should stay in OKC, for as long as he can.
It's pretty nuts. They have how many more picks over the next 4 years?
like 14 first-round picks.
Yep.
They got to do something with that.
They got to do something.
Can't bring all those young guys in.
They could build a whole new roster with these trades.
It's crazy.
They could go out and get somebody right now and probably not even have to trade one of their young guys.
Exactly,
with
yeah.
They're just here's 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
Give us,
Cam Johnson.
That
would be so a perfect fit on that team.
I'd be upset.
Yeah, I would be too. That'd be scary.
I'd be very upset.
Well, another pick from my ICU really fast is Bryce Sensabaugh from the Utah Jazz. An unknown name. But he hasn't been getting minutes all year, even on this struggling Utah Jazz team. And then he had 2 games in a row. I think he had almost 100 points in 2 games.
Ooh.
Bryce Sensabaugh.
What?
Yeah, he is a bucket. And he's a slow, he's kind of a bigger guard. He's not fast. He's got handles, though. He's got all the moves you can think of in the bag. And, I just love how Bryce Sensabaugh has really, brought a bright spot to this Utah Jazz team that's having a really tough year. So shout out to Bryce.
Yeah,
young player.
Definitely a big developing team right now. Probably the most kind of bottom of the barrel developing team right now.
Might be good in a couple years though. I wouldn't be surprised. 3 years down the line, they could be a top team in the West. Maybe not
the
top.
Jazz?
Maybe not top, but if they get a guy like Cooper Flagg, they got Lauri Markkanen. Then you got Bryce Sensabaugh scoring 100 points.
3 years?
3 years is a good. Lauri, could develop more, and they could probably get some more young guys. I like Keontae George as well. Their point guard. He's pretty solid.
That's true.
Maybe not top of the West. Let me relax. No. Let me take a step back a little bit on that.
Probably be
middle of the pack.
Middle of the pack.
Yeah, middle of the pack. That'd be good for them though.
Top right now with how ferocious the West is. It's it's so tough to jump that far in 1 year.
It really.
The Kings did. But we're the Kings, so we can do it.
Yeah, we're the Cinderella team of the NBA.
We can do it.
One more guy, though, Quentin Grimes from the Dallas Mavericks. He's been playing so good without Kyrie and Luka, even though Dallas has been on, I think, a 5-game losing streak now. Yeah. That's big for us.
Let's struggling.
Prey on their downfall. Prey on everyone in the West downfall right now.
Luka and Kyrie both out for the past few games, I think.
They have no playmaking.
They have no, besides PJ Washington.
He's been killing.
He's been going
Oh, my
off.
God, killing.
Yeah.
It started in that game against the Kings. It really did.
Yep.
I was scared we were going to lose that one. That would have been a bad loss.
Yeah.
That
would have been tough.
Was that the start of the win streak?
That was the second game. We beat Philly right before that.
You're right. Right. So, that was a big win for, the Kings.
I think I was at the Philly game, I think. Yeah. I was there.
Quick plug.
All right, well, moving around now to around the NBA. A lot of season left. We should jump on to the Eastern Conference. Cleveland Cavaliers, we mentioned them already. They're 31-4. Do you think this team can get to 70 wins this year? 31-4 is an insane record.
They're on pace for it.
They definitely are on pace.
They're staying healthy. I'm not going to – I see no reason why they wouldn't.
Yeah. Do you think they will get 2 All-Stars?
Yeah.
Donovan is obviously a lock.
And
either Garland or Mobley, I think. Both those guys have been so good. Some people say Jared Allen, but I don't know why Jared Allen would be an All-Star. No one wants to see him.
Guards are really in the East, too, when you think of it like
there's
that.
a lot.
There's a lot.
You got Brunson. You got Dame. You got Trae Young, who's having a crazy year.
Yeah.
Cade. Cade's a lock for All-Star. Tyrese Maxey. LaMelo. LaMelo has been balling. He's averaging 30 points, but he hasn't played too much this year, so maybe he won't be.
And then also they've lost a lot.
Charlotte is 8-27 right now,
not doing good.
But LaMelo is leading the guards in the East in fan voting. He's number one.
Of course.
Because
it's LaMelo Ball.
Well, he has like the influence of our age.
Exactly,
and, the young generation who's always voting and like on their
phones.
I might swerve in that corner.
I know.
you knew that was coming. You knew that was coming. Ball brothers are back. The Ball brothers are back,
Dude,
man.
LeVar called it.
LeVar called it.
LeVar, as much as I'm not a fan of LeVar,
he's such a good dad.
Successful family, man.
Yeah, he's a great dad. Looking back on all those LeVar moments back when Lonzo was getting drafted.
It was a weird time.
It was a crazy time, but it was on First Take with Stephen A. was like
so bad.
Peak entertainment. Like him and Stephen A. arguing about who would win one-on-one. LeVar versus Michael Jordan was like fun to watch.
People didn't care about sports. Yeah, they're just like, let's hear who's crazier.
He's the original rage baiter. He's the OG.
Yeah. Well, the Ball brothers are back. Lonzo playing pretty well in Chicago right now. Vibes are high for them. They're 17 and 19. I've been pushing them to lose games.
Yeah.
A lot of Bulls fans are, but Zach LaVine's been on another level the last couple nights, and Kobe White dunked on Victor Wembanyama last night. That was, I don't know if you guys saw that, but the Bulls beat the Spurs, and Kobe White had a dagger poster on Victor Wembanyama.
That was also D Rose's night, right?
Oh, that was the other night. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, shout out to my favorite podcast, Numbers on the Board. They were at that Derrick Rose moment, and
cool.
They were tearing up, and they posted all that. The Bulls posted them on Instagram, but yeah, my favorite guy from the podcast reposted my thing today, so that was the best thing to wake up to ever in my life. So shout out to Pierre from Numbers on the Board. I love you, man.
Shout out.
He loves you.
I love you. Okay, well, more around the NBA last night. What I meant to bring up is Trae Young. Did you guys see him hit the buzzer beater from half court to win the game?
Yep.
Crazy.
As much as I'm not really a big Trae Young fan.
That's my guy.
Yeah. That's unfortunate, but no, that was very impressive.
Yeah.
That was, it reminded me of Tyreek Evans coming down the court.
That's exactly what I thought.
That's like the exact shot that Tyreek hit.
It really was.
But
this one was on the road, so it was like he had to quiet the crowd. And it was sick, though. He had 24 points and 20 assists. Trae Young is on another level this year.
Yeah.
Atlanta's a lot better than I thought they would be. Young
Definitely.
team.
Big surprise.
Yeah. Also last night around the NBA, Minnesota got a win against the struggling Pelicans, but Zion Williamson finally came back. Welcome back.
Big Chub.
Big Z. Well, did you guys see his 360 windmill, if I want to call it? It was insane. I don't know if you guys saw it, but
I did not see that.
Yeah.
I saw a couple of lobs he caught, but I didn't see that
one.
I saw some highlight, but I didn't see that one.
I saw Morgan Reagan, shout out to her, and Deuce Mason. They were reacting to it, in one of their videos, and they were saying that if Zion can, because a lot of teams around the NBA don't want Zion right now.
No.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I mean, I remember seeing an article recently where they were saying that Zion's contract was written to be like kind of thrown away.
Yeah.
Like it's not a big, like, lengthy contract. So, I don't know. I do see him leaving pretty soon. I
don't know why other teams around the league aren't pushing to get him. If I'm Atlanta or maybe even Golden
State. He's a liability.
I know.
He's a liability.
Yeah.
Like, it's not.
Don't know if he's going to stay healthy.
You don't know if he's going to stay healthy.
First game back, he had 22, though. And maybe, it's a lot of talk that food in New Orleans might be playing a part of why he's not staying healthy. Get him out. Move him to Golden State where there's not, there's good food in SF.
He's got to walk up them hills, man.
He's got to walk those hills.
Thought we were Kings fans. Why can't he go to the Kings, bro?
You don't want Zion.
I don't want Zion.
We're too fun for that.
He's also too fast.
Yeah.
You're right. He wouldn't be able to.
He had to learn how to walk again when he was 23.
Exactly. All right, well.
We're not fat shaming.
No, definitely not. All right, moving around the NBA, we got 5 minutes left. Last night, the Phoenix Suns lost to the Charlotte Hornets. Let's give it up. Let's keep praying on the Suns' downfall.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say they're kind of all in shambles over there with
really
all the Bradley Beal news
off the bench.
Yeah. No, it's tough. They built this team. What was it? 3 years ago they tried to get it together.
I think so.
Yeah,
but KD hasn't worked out the same way.
I mean, KD's balling. KD's gonna bring his buckets, but it's just not a good team.
No, it's not functioning well. The chemistry is clearly down for sure.
Yeah, I see them being in the lower play-in and losing in the play-in, not making the playoffs. I see them.
I agree.
Yeah, I see that. That's how their season's going to go. Same with Minnesota.
Or they might not even make it. Not going to lie.
True.
Yeah, the West is stacked right now. Also, I really think the Rockets are going to start falling off a little bit, which would be big for the Kings.
I do see them falling off.
Yeah.
too young of a team that doesn't have they don't have the experience to run this long in a season.
They were second in the West for a long time, and I was like, damn, will they keep this up? But they still are. Shoot, well, I think they're going to start losing some games. Everything's going to start balancing out around the NBA. We're getting to the point of the year where it's like, this is really how the teams are around the league. But LaMelo last night had 32 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, and he was playing like he was at Chino Hills, as always.
Whoa.
He did a crazy dribble move, pump faked, leaned in, threw it off the glass to himself like 100 miles an hour. Yeah, and that it was just LaMelo is just so fun to watch, man.
He's bringing back his AAU style of playing pretty much. He's just running crazy, but it's working.
It is.
It's working. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It's only him and Brandon Miller over there, though. So that's once they get some more guys, Charlotte. I hope they keep LaMelo. That could be a really fun team.
Yeah, for sure. I don't see LaMelo leaving. I see him signing another big contract after this.
I hope so. Yeah. Well, also the Lakers lost last night to the struggling Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah.
Without Luka, without Kyrie. Clay hit some big shots, but Luke, I sent you it on Instagram. But LeBron's poster, Devin, did you see that?
Switch hands poster.
Jesus Christ, he's 40 years old, and he's doing that. And LeBron was on one. I watched the highlights of this game.
It don't even surprise me that he's doing it anymore. Yeah, like he's a different breed.
LeBron only had 18 points. And it was the loudest 18 points I've ever seen in my entire life. Every bucket he had was like a highlight.
The loudest.
It was fadeaway threes. It was side steps. It was no-look passes. That dunk on Derek Lively was dunk of the year in my opinion.
Vintage LeBron, man.
I don't think he's ever done that in his career. The switch hands from the right to the left in midair.
Once, dude.
No, he switched hands
He's
mid-air.
been playing for 20 years. He's done that at least once.
I don't know. That one was insane. That one was like new level.
If we go back and look at all of LeBron's dunks, we'll find 3 of those.
You think? Damn,
yes.
That was a different type of dunk, I think. Is Jordan doing that?
Yeah, he definitely did.
That's like the main highlight you see. Well, it wasn't a dunk. That's like the main highlight.
I got two Jordan Glazers with me today.
Jordan's was. I think Jordan's was a bit more impressive.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm rocking with my boy.
Jordan was all the way up. Jordan could have put it in the bucket, and then he went all the way to the other side just because.
Yeah, but what's crazy is we see Jamal Murray do that today. We see Kyrie Irving do that today.
No, it's different. It was different.
It is. It is. I agree, but I mean, I think LeBron's highlights outweigh, in my opinion. But that's just me. The old heads are gonna hate me for that.
Sorry,
one.
What did you say? No, what?
No one's gonna agree with
ever.
me on that. Okay, well, Boston beat Denver last night. Let's keep praying on the Western Conference team's downfall.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Westbrook, though, 26 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists.
Shout out my boy.
He is playing so good this year. Shout out to Russ. That was your man of the week last week, right? Yeah. Shout out to Russ.
I feel like I've done that like 3 times where I pick a man of the week and then the next week,
they have an even better week.
They go off.
Yeah, they have like an even better week. But yeah, the Rockets last game of the night, besides the Warriors getting blown out, the Rockets beat the Wizards, beat the brakes off them. Cam Whitmore with 17 points. Amen Thompson is so good. 20 points, 15 rebounds. But yeah, that's it for today's show. It's been another great week. Back live on the radio.
Yeah. Feels good to be back in the studio, back at home. But thanks for tuning in, Sacramento. Yeah. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, Dev, for, being a part of us now. And Luke, of course, as always. But we will be back at the bar on Saturday. We'll post it on Sunday, but back at the bar on Saturday. Excited for that. We love the bar setup. It's fun out there.
It's pretty tight.
Yeah.
It's our own little unique thing. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Also, merch on the way. Merch on the way.
Yes,
Beam City merch. So
Put
look out for that.
I'm kidding. No, you're not going to do that.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see that.
All right. Well, thank you guys for all listening. Beam City Sports, 96.5 FM.
Beam City Sports. Thank you very much.
I might swerve in that corner. Whoa.
Tune in next week.
Cheers. Like, share, subscribe.